Hi guys, once again back with another daily exercise video. Today was a upper body day and I started off with doing this warm-up routine instead of using the band too much. I saw this on a YouTube video, I think, or it might have been an Instagram video as well. I'm not too certain at the moment. However, it is basically doing the Y motion with very light dumbbells. Then you're doing the T motion. I found that doing this group with the weights, I could feel my back a lot better. And I did 2 sets of this, so I went through everything. First was the Y movement, and then the T, which I'm doing now. Then there is a W move, which is followed next. So because your elbows is going a bit down and you're pulling the weight up, it's a bit more focused on your rhomboids. And then after this one, there's an L rotational move. So basically where I'm stopping there, I then have to rotate my hands upwards so that I can get a rotator cuff warm up. But even just on the 1 kilogram weights that I had here, this was an intense warm-up. It was really firing all the muscles in your back. So I would say this is something to include and not always just warm up with the band. So definitely give this a shot and do at least like 15 reps per exercise. And like I said, I did 2 sets of that. And then started off with some decline machine press. As I mentioned before, I'm not doing it that regularly, so I'm trying to incorporate it a bit more to activate and build the lower portion of my chest a bit more. Am I ever doing single arms to begin with to see if there is any imbalances before doing the press simultaneously? So it seemed like everything is fine, but I need to look at my shoulders, because I do think that from this angle that my right shoulder, so technically my left shoulder, is raising too high when the weight is returning closer to my body. So my right shoulder seems that it is moving as well, but not as much as the left one, and that can be fixed through adjusting the seat height, or even the angle of my hands and how I'm pushing the weight, whether I'm pushing just through my hands or through my elbows or through the entire muscle group, and also if I'm actually rotating my arms in while doing the press. Afterwards I went to do some flat bench press, and this was really a strength day because the weight was quite heavy at my final set. So I had to warm up to get there pretty well, and it was all about doing singles here to ensure that I have the proper power to get the weight up from the bottom and not basically using a spring move as the weight goes down and it's just like bouncing from my chest. So the first weight was 60 kilos. Here I have 90 kilos. And I'm also starting to place my hands a bit closer than what I used to do it before, and I do think I'm a little bit stronger. However, I can see here that, so on the video, the right side, which is then my left arm, it is usually a little bit higher than the other side, and I think that I actually don't know what the reason is for this. But in a later session, when I did incline, I also saw that, and it's a little bit worrisome. So I just need to check it out and see when does it actually start and what might be the cause. It might be that my lats aren't activated. So this was, I forgot, I think maybe 120 kilos that was on this bar. Did it for one. I mean, yeah, maybe I could have done like another one, but without a spot there, it's really dangerous for me, and I'm not wanting to risk it that much. Then went over to do some seated cable pull downs, but using a hammer grip instead, and trying to get a better squeeze in my back. This wasn't too heavy, but one thing that I've noticed from this machine, it gets heavy quite fast. So as you can see here on the weight stack, I have those two bigger weights that's on there, but it feels that whenever I'm going higher than this weight, it just gets super hard. It's not as if there's like a linear move hardness scale, more difficult scale that goes by. It's really intense. This, I know it's 2 plates more than the previous one, but this is much more difficult, and I would say this is possibly the best one for me to then exercise on, or even just 1 plate less. Then I went over to do some very wide grip pull-ups, just actually for the fun of it. Nothing really, I don't actually know what the main benefit would be of this, but it feels that I am really just incorporating my back, and I'm thinking, and I do think that I'm getting pretty good height actually out of that pull. Then I wanted to do some strict barbell curls, as I saw this on a recent video once again that I watched, and because I've been neglecting my arms, it's just a good idea to also try and do some proper curls where it is just the bicep and not anything else. So here the weight got much heavier, because this was 30 kilos, and the next I suppose is maybe like 37.5, as I'm not entirely sure how much this bar weighs. So let's say, what's that, 30 kilos just the plate, and then this bar at least 7.5 kilos. So yeah, quite a bit heavier. But of course the goal here is to, whenever I'm lifting the weight, is not to lift my bum or my back from, and as well as my head, from the wall. Of course my elbows will move a little bit, but I'm trying to do these curls as strict as possible. But they were quite intense. So yeah guys, try this out if you want to see how you can make progress. But that was it for this training video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.